420 nights. Researchers tracked sleep in a Hadza camp in northern Tanzania. Every monitored person was scored asleep at once for only 18 minutes. How did humans survive the dark? That number does not come from a fossil. It comes from wrist motion sensors worn by living hunter-gatherers in 2017. For almost every minute between the first person falling asleep and the last person waking, somebody was awake, moving, or sleeping lightly enough to be scored near the surface. Now, put yourself much farther back. You are a primate with poor night vision compared with many nocturnal predators. You have no claws, no shell, no venom, and no door to lock. Some dangerous carnivores remain active after sunset. Cold settles in. A strange noise can be an animal, another group, or nothing at all. You still have to sleep. The obvious picture is a cave, a fire, and everyone unconscious until morning. But that picture combines people from very different periods and treats sleep as if it worked like a modern household schedule. The evidence points to something less tidy and more effective. Your first defense was the place itself. Sleeping behavior almost never fossilizes, so no archaeologist can reconstruct a universal bedtime routine. But a rock face, an overhang, dense brush, or a campsite with fewer approach routes could reduce the directions from which danger arrived. A cave might help, but caves were not everywhere, and some were used by the same carnivores humans feared. Shelter narrowed the problem. It did not remove it. Then came fire, although its history is not a simple line from darkness to permanent campfires. In June 2026, archaeologist Maria Dolores Marian Monfort and an international team reported new evidence from Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa. They identified burnt small animal bones in layers dated between about 1.07 and 1.79 million years ago. The remains lay roughly 30 meters inside the cave, too deep for an outside grass fire to reach them directly. The researchers concluded that early hominins probably brought naturally acquired fire into the cave and maintained it there on repeated occasions. That is remarkable, but it is not proof that they could ignite fire whenever they wanted, cook every meal, or keep a flame alive every night. The archaeological record becomes much more regular later. In 2011, archaeologists Will Brooks of Leiden University and Paula Vila of the University of Colorado reviewed European sites and found that fire became a significant, habitual part of the technological record around 300,000 to 400,000 years ago. Fire changed night. It gave light, warmth, a place to gather, and a better chance of detecting or discouraging some animals. But it was not an invisible wall. Flames died. Fuel ran out. Smoke shifted. For long stretches of human evolution, fire seems to have been useful without being guaranteed. The more dependable defense was the group. Start with something you already know. People do not all become sleepy at the same time. Some naturally drift later. Others wake earlier. Sleep timing often shifts with age, and it also varies from person to person. In 2017, evolutionary anthropologist David Sampson at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, anthropologist Alyssa Crittenden at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and their colleagues measured that variation among the Hadza. Their result was not a camp taking organized guard shifts. It was a camp whose different body clocks produced a loose watch without anyone scheduling it. Across the 20 nights, all monitored people were simultaneously scored asleep for only 18 one-minute periods. During 99.8% of the sampled night, at least one person was scored awake or in light sleep. The median at any moment was 8 people awake. The sensors could not tell whether each awake person was deliberately scanning for danger. The study also did not include every person in the camp every night. What it showed was an opportunity for vigilance. A mixed age group rarely went completely offline. No one had to announce, "You take the first shift." One person stayed up later. Another surfaced briefly. Someone older woke earlier. The overlaps created coverage. The camp did not need one permanent guard. The camp became a network of open eyes. There may have been another layer, but this one needs more caution. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr at the United States National Institute of Mental Health placed healthy adults on a schedule with 14 hours of darkness each day. Their sleep expanded and usually separated into two main bouts, with 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness between them. Beginning with a major study in 2001, historian A. Roger Ekirch of Virginia Tech found repeated references in European diaries, court records, medical writing, and literature to a first sleep and a second sleep. People use the interval to pray, talk, tend fires, work, or simply lie awake. That makes segmented sleep look ancient. It does not make it universal. In 2015, sleep researcher Jerome Siegel and colleagues at the University of California, Los Angeles, measured sleep among the Hadza, the San in southern Africa, and the Tsimanewa in Bolivia. These groups usually slept in one main, nightly period and did not regularly spend a long interval awake in the middle. The disagreement matters. It tells you not to imagine one prehistoric sleep schedule copied across every climate and every human group. Long winter darkness may encourage one pattern. Equatorial nights may encourage another. Culture, temperature, age, light, safety, and daily work all change the shape of sleep. But the deeper finding survives the argument. Humans are flexible sleepers, and groups contain different sleepers. Some wake easily. Some stay up late. Some rise before dawn. Even without a formal sentry, those differences can keep at least part of a camp responsive. Now return to the modern bedroom. A teenager lies awake later than the rest of the family. An older adult wakes before sunrise. Someone opens their eyes at 3 in the morning, listens for a moment, and wonders why sleep has failed. The ancient evidence does not mean insomnia is imaginary, or that every night waking is healthy. Persistent poor sleep can damage daily life, and clinical sleep disorders are defined by more than an inconvenient clock time. The point is narrower. Variation is not automatically a defect, and one uninterrupted 8-hour block is not the only pattern human bodies can produce. For most of human history, nighttime safety was layered. Choose a safer place. Use fire when it was available. Sleep close enough to hear one another. Let different body clocks overlap. None of these systems was perfect. Together, they made total vulnerability rare. That is the reversal. Humans did not survive the dark because every person slept perfectly behind one brilliant invention. They survived because the group was never only a collection of sleeping individuals. It was a changing pattern of rest, light sleep, waking, listening, and response. Today, walls, locks, electric light, and controlled temperature do the work that geography, flame, and other people once shared. We made the dark safer. Human sleep still carries the variation of a species that survived night together.